Hi, everyone, and welcome back. I'm with Richard Forster. How's it going, Richard?
Hey, Tom.
Good to
How
see
are you
again.
today?
Tell us about the agenda.
Long agenda. We better get right into it. General Services Administration, John Hopkins, has brought two items to the board for consideration tomorrow. We've looked at some of these before and discussed them. I expect there'll still be more discussion tomorrow. The first one is county employees taking home vehicles while they're off duty. And off duty could mean Public Works, could mean the Sheriff's Department, DA's office, social services. It could go across all.
They don't drive them when they're home, do they?
Most of the time, they're not supposed to use those vehicles when they're home. It's just supposed to be home, park it, and then back to work. Now, the way the IRS interprets it, there are two departments that it looks like are more legitimate and we can exempt them from being taxed, is the Sheriff's Office and the DA's office. But other departments, I mean, you have to look at this very carefully. Animal Control has a need. If you have an officer that's on call, essentially he's on duty. So that vehicle should be at home with him. The sticky part, too, comes in is some people take their vehicles home out of county.
If the person's on call, aren't they getting paid, too, at some time in some sort of a rate?
They are getting paid, so that makes it different, too. There are cases, though, where they're not on call, for instance, the Sheriff's Office. But it looks like the IRS interprets it that those two departments, Sheriff and DA, can be exempted. So I think they've taken, by the research done by the GSA, the General Services, they've taken a lot of the guesswork out of this, so the decision is made a lot easier.
Okay.
Second issue brought up by General Services is our county defense team, Public Defender Richard Cuomo and Associates. This will be pretty standard. He's the only one bidding on it. He's done a good job for the county. He's worked with us well. The only issue here is we're discussing now capital cases, for instance, capital murder cases, that they will have a person qualified in the office to handle that case. The only thing is there is a quota on the number of cases, and I think it only limits them to one that can be handled. Otherwise, you'd have to have the office staffed up with people who are certified to be able to handle a capital murder case. In a little county like ours, you wouldn't think we'd need too many, but we potentially have two cases now. One of the cases could involve as many as 5 people.
Could they sub out for the people that they need?
Going to have to, well, they could sub out.
That's what I mean.
But there are other public defenders listed in the county that can be brought forward to handle some of these cases, and that is happening right now. Fortunately, the people have rights to representation.
Sure.
Unfortunately, that falls back on Amador County as covering the costs, and then we'll have to apply to the state for reimbursement. But Richard Cuomo's done a really good job for our county as well as many other counties, employing the right personnel to come in. He's been working with us on changes. Every time we need to take a turn or make an adjustment, he works with us to do that. So.
Good customer service, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And good firm, too. Next up on the agenda, Amador Water Agency, Gene Mancebo will be back in asking for an extension of the loan agreement that has been made. This will be the third extension request, and actually Gene's going to request that the extension go to November 30th of 2013 to go in lockstep with the grant they're getting from the federal government. I think it's a USDA grant that they're getting, but USDA has extended their grant period to November 13th of November 30th.
They have to do some work to get that grant, right?
That's right. It is a USDA grant. Gene has asked for more time with USDA so they can process their election that they're going to have to try and form one community facilities district. So in all likelihood, it's appropriate for our board to do that, and I think our board will probably look favorably on it. I'm sure there'll be a few comments otherwise from members of the public. So next up, Supervisor Novelli put the Amador County Recreation on the agenda. Tracy Towner did not know anything about it as of this morning, so it's always good to notify the executive director of a department, but I would imagine it's going to be talking about Molly Joyce Park. What I recommended to Ms. Towner is that she put the email together, copy it. That was forwarded by Adam Dalton from the tribe last week, saying that they have reversed their position now and are willing to work with ACRA again. And I know TSPN covered that. Yeah. So appreciate TSPN putting that out too, because it it shows that Accra is responding, and the tribe has recognized that.
Right. I think in that video too that we had with the second story, you could see that the grass was already starting to green up and more, and they certainly were watering it.
Yeah, and part of the problem is that when the grass was planted, the sod in the upper field, there was too much water down already, and when some of the sod was laid, it developed a fungus.
Okay,
well,
right.
the only way to get rid of that fungus is to spray it and kill it, and then replant it in the fall. So there's a lot of issues to the story that some
Grass
people
just
aren't
doesn't
seeing.
need water, right?
That's right.
It needs more. Okay.
Next is the retail food program inspection. This is brought to us by Environmental Health. Mike Israel, he took this before the Land Use Committee and the Admin Committee, both of which is Louis Boitano and myself. This involves the Environmental Health Department going out and doing inspections on food facilities, on grocery stores and things like that. How many inspections, and the fee level. There's an analysis here with, let's see, with 5 other counties, Calaveras, Nevada, San Bernardino, Tuolumne, and Mariposa, on what their fees are at this time for going out and doing the inspections. There's a question here, should you inspect once a year or twice a year for food facilities?
What part of the environment are they checking when they do that for the food facilities?
They inspect, they have a whole list that they go through, and we looked at that in the committee, everything from cleanliness of the facility to do you have the right type of stripping on the bottom to keep rodents and things out.
Okay, right.
It's a whole list, but our feeling from the committee was it's better to have inspections twice a year. It's better for the facility, as long as the costs aren't going to raise astronomically for them. But it's better for the facility, and another facet to this is he's asking to put this up on the website. So if a facility has a clean bill of health, there are a lot of people that go right on the website and look. Maybe there are some facilities that won't like that if they've got a bad record. But, you know, I think we've only had a couple that were cited for things. They turned it around very quickly. So
Okay.
as long as they're responsive, I know Sacramento has a program
Well,
of
that's the
colors.
purpose of the inspections, isn't it? To let the people know, and then you know,
That's right.
and then pull everything up to speed.
And our committee felt strongly that, yes, people want to know that where they're eating is a healthy environment, and the people that that own the establishment should want that to be put out there too.
Okay.
Just quickly, a bunch of things. We have two issues
Go.
on
20 seconds.
two issues on safe drinking water and the secure rural schools reauthorization. The Amador County Abandoned Vehicle Authority issue is coming up. That has to be put on the ballot for a vote because of Prop 26. So we're going to put that on. We're going to have a discussion on that, and that's going to be important for the county because it does clean up a lot of old vehicles out
Okay,
there.
a lot of issues you might be interested in at the Board of Supervisors tomorrow. Thanks.
Okay,
Richard.
Tom.
We'll see you. More news on the other side of the break.
You're watching Amador County's #1 news and sports leader, TSPN.